Okay, 8th grade, so we are in our writing packets today. We're on page 19. As always with the writing packet, we're going to start off with a journal entry. And so today's journal entry asks us, is it important to follow a schedule each day or go along with whatever happens? Describe your approach to the day and what you like about that approach. Use reasons to support your position. So you need to decide whether you think it's important to follow a schedule or whether you think it's better if you just go along, like go with the flow sort of thing. So I know this question is extremely relevant right now, especially since a lot of our daily schedules don't look the same as they did before. They look really, really different. So is anyone having a hard time without a schedule, that sort of thing? Then obviously you would think it's important to follow a schedule. So then you need to describe what your approach is. So do you think that following a schedule is more important or going with the flow is more important? And then use reasons to support whatever your position is. So if you think it's more important to follow a schedule, you need to give me some reasons why. If you think that you should go with the flow, you need to give me some reasons why. So this is 5 to 7 sentences, as always, which is one paragraph. So moving on, you guys will do that on your own. We're going to take a look at this lesson on page 20 together, and then we'll do the bottom of 20 together, and then you guys will do 21 on your own. So today we're going to be talking about infinitives, which is going off of the verbals that we've talked about before. So we've talked about gerunds and we've talked about participles, past participles, all that kind of stuff. So infinitives is just another form of a verbal. So it says, remember, a verbal is a word that is formed from a verb but is used as a noun, adjective, or adverb. So a verbal being used as a noun is a gerund. A verbal being used as an adjective is a participle. Well, a infinitive is a type of verbal, another type of verbal, and an infinitive usually starts with the word to, followed by the base form of the verb. So it is time to leave. Juanita hopes to get a job. So infinitives most often function as nouns, but they can also function as adjectives or adverbs. So we know that, like we said, gerunds function as nouns also, right? So how do we tell the difference? Well, an infinitive starts with that word to, whereas a gerund, which is a verbal where a verb functions as a noun, ends with ing. So here's a chart, and it shows us how these infinitives function. So the first one says it could be a noun used as a direct object. So direct object is something where the subject is focusing on that. So at 7 p.m., the students, which is the subject, started to gather. So it's what the students are focused on. So not the subject, but another noun where the subject of the sentence is focusing on that. So then you have a noun as a predicate nominative. We've talked about predicate nominatives before. They rename the subject of the sentence. So the goal of the job fair was to help them. What was the goal? To help. That's how you figure out the predicate nominative, because to help is the same thing as the goal. The goal and helping are the same exact thing. So you can see here that they're not functioning as the verbs because, like, started is our verb here. Was is our verb here. So to help and to gather are not verbs, they're verbals. So noun or infinitives, specifically infinitives. So noun as a subject. Obviously the sentence is what the subject is what the entire sentence is talking about. So to attend was a valuable experience. What was a valuable experience? To attend. It's what the entire sentence is talking about. Here, our actual verb is was. Now we have, it can function as an adjective that modifies a noun. So Juanita was the first person to arrive. So it's just modifying Juanita or first person, because Juanita and the first person are the same thing. So adverb, modifying a verb. She had studied the list to prepare. So it's just saying why she studied the list. It's explaining why. Adverb modifying an adjective. She was ready. Ready is our adjective. To participate. So what was she ready to do? Participate. So let's take a look at the practice here. Underline, as always, we're going to highlight. Underline the infinitive in each sentence, then write the infinitive's function as a noun, an adjective, or an adverb. So obviously we're looking for the word to in all of these. But if you look at the hint, it says, do not confuse the preposition to with the word to in an infinitive. So if the word is not followed by a verb, it's probably a preposition indicating direction, as in, I went to school. So there can be more than one to in a sentence, so you need to make sure that a verb comes after the word to in order for it to actually be an infinitive. Okay? So it says, Kalinda wanted a job as a lifeguard, so she planned to apply. Okay? So here we see to apply. It's our only to there. Apply is a verb. So that's how we know that that one works. Now, if she wanted a job as a lifeguard, she planned to apply. If she planned to do something, she planned to apply. This is functioning as an idea or an idea or an activity that she can do. So that makes it a noun. So for example, it says to attend, to help, to gather. These are things that they were planning to do, that sort of thing. So this is going to be functioning as a noun. She had studied first aid to qualify. So we only have one to. Qualify as a verb, so to qualify works there for us. She had studied first aid to qualify. Well, here we see this to qualify as modifying this verb. Because why did she study? To qualify. So it's modifying the verb. Okay? So now this is going to be an adverb. Because what an adverb does is it gives us more specifics on the verb itself. So Stephen talked to a person from the tutoring center because he wanted to volunteer. So we have two twos here. So we have to a person, or to a, or to volunteer. So is a person a verb? No. Is volunteer a verb? Yes. So this is going to be our infinitive. To a or to a person is not an infinitive because person or the word a is not a verb. So if Stephen talked to a person from the tutoring center because he wanted to volunteer, again, to apply is talking about an action in terms of an idea or something they can plan to do. So that makes this one another noun. The next one says, to teach was Stephen's ultimate goal. Well, we only have one to here, and teach is a verb. So to teach was Stephen's ultimate goal. So again, we have another one where we're talking about the idea of something, the idea of doing something, which is teaching. So that makes this one another noun. And in this case, it's noun as a subject, because if you see to attend was a valuable experience, then we know that that one is a noun. Okay, so for number 5, we have the job fair offered to students interesting jobs to consider. So we have to students and to consider. Students, is that a verb? No. Is consider a verb? Yes. So to consider is our infinitive here. Now what is that infinitive modifying or functioning as? Well, it is modifying this interesting because it's interesting jobs. It's describing the type of jobs that they need to consider. So here it is functioning as an adjective. So the last one says the employers were anxious to hire. To hire is our verbal, our infinitive, and to hire is modifying were and functioning as. It's describing were and it is functioning as an adverb. So now you guys are going to take a look at page 21 on your own. I know these are kind of difficult to figure out what they're functioning as. But if you guys have any questions, I'll be available during office hours today. So just reach out to me if you need anything.